Swamiji, Maharaj, and all of you, audience. Pranam. We, Shuddheshwar School of Music, will present a bouquet of songs, Lahu Pranam. Only a few of our members here today. Hopefully someday we can come with our whole team. So thank you so much, everybody. You're here. We're really, like obliged to you. And today, they are going to help us accompany Tabla Aritra Shur, King Shur Day. Our singers are Tanishi Das, Maya Bakchi, Anisha De, Yagne Seni Das, Anindita Shil, Atrey Chaki, Gargi De, Payal Bose, Purvasha Roy, Pooja Bhumik, Ratna Banerjee, Shilpi Bakchi, Shilpita Sarkar, Tista De, and me, Shantanag, and the sound helping Priyam Boito, and the sound helping us Shudipta Das and Kaustav. Thank you so much. Thank you.
করি কত বয়স বয়স এই প্রথম মায়া It's stay good. You can say. It's stay good song. Is it stay good? রজনীকান্ত
মহারাজ কি সাজে এলে হৃদয় পুরো মাঝে চরণ তলে কোটি শশী সূর্য মারে রাজে মহারাজ কি সাজে গর্ব সম টুটিয়া মূর্ছি পরে লুটিয়া গর্ব সব টুটিয়া মূর্ছি পরে লুটিয়া সকল মন দিয়া সমবাজে মহারাজ একি সাজে দেখি পুলক বেদনা বহিছে মধুবায় কাননে যত পুষ্প ছিল মিলিল তব পায়ে দেখি পুলক বেদনা বহিছে মধুবায় যত পুষ্প ছিল মিলিল তব পায়ে এলে হৃদয় পুরময় তাদের কোটি শশী সূর্য মারে রাজ মহারাজ দেখি সাজে कैसे लगाऊं तुमसे मैं प्रीत कैसे लगाऊं तुमसे मैं प्रीत अस्थिर बोलती मन चंचला चित अस्थिर बोलती मन चंचला चित राम कृष्ण प्रभु इस युग के नायक मैं हूँ दास तेरा चरणाश्रित कैसे लगाऊं तुमसे मैं प्रीत कैसे लगाऊं तुमसे मैं हर पल होता जग में परिवर्तन हर पल होता जग में परिवर्तन जगत चितन के तुम हो चेतन बनाए अब चंद्रमणि सुत बनाए अब चंद्रमणि सुत चिंतनिया जीवन अद्भुत कैसे लगाऊं तुमसे मैं प्रीत कैसे लगाऊं तुमसे मैं प्रीत तुमको है अवगत हृदय निवासी साक्षी स्वरूप प्रकट हुए करने जग का हित प्रकट हुए करने जग का हित तन मन प्राण की समर्पित रूप तुम्हारा रहे चित में नित रूप तुम्हारा रहे चित में नित सदा सेवा में प्रभु सेवारत प्रेम हृदय से गाऊं तेरे गीत प्रेम हृदय से गाऊं तेरे गीत मेरी कैसे लगाऊं तुमसे मैं प्रीत 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 জাগাইলে অনুপমা সহসা ফুটিলা সহসা ফুটিলা দয়াময়ী একবার যদি সম্মুখে আসিয়া দাঁড়াও, ও গো দয়াময়ী একবার যদি সম্মুখে আসিয়া দাঁড়াও, তুমি তো আসিয়া আসিয়া আমার কৃষিত হিয়াকে জুড়াও, ও গো দয়াময়ী একবার যদি সম্মুখে আসিয়া দাঁড়াও। কতদিন হয় নমি
শুধু তব প্রেরণায় কতদিন হায় কাঁদিয়া হে তাই কাঁদিয়াছি শুধু তব প্রেরণায় তুমি ছাড়া আর কেহ নাহি মোর ক্ষণিক হাসিয়া ভুলাও ও গো দয়াময়ী একবার যদি সম্মুখে আসিয়া দাঁড়াও মাগো তব মুখে হাসির মায়ায় কুসুম আপন সৌরভ পায় সাগরের ঢেউ মলয় সমীর আপন প্রবাহ পায় তোমার মধুর হাসির ধারায় ক্লেশ দুঃখ জীব সব ঘুরে যায় তোমার মধুর হাসির ধারায় ক্লেশ দুঃখ জীব সব ঘুরে যায় তোমার সে মুখ একবার যদি ধ্যানে আনিয়া দাও ও গো দয়াময়ী একবার যদি সম্মুখে আসিয়া দাঁড়াও বিপুল বিশাল ভুবনের সবই তোমার হাসির ঝলক মা তুমি বিপুল বিশাল ভুবনের সবই তোমার হাসির ঝলক মা তুমি এ অধরে তুমি কৃপা করে শুধু সে দর্শন শিখাও ও গো দয়াময়ী একবার যদি সম্মুখে আসিয়া দাঁড়াও ক্ষণিক আসিয়া আসিয়া আমার তৃষিত হিয়াতে জুড়াও ও গো দয়াময়ী একবার যদি সম্মুখে আসিয়া দাঁড়াও
Some of the mics are working and some of them are not working as well.
যে তোরে পাগল বলে তারে তুই বলিস নে কিছু যে তোরে পাগল বলে তারে তুই বলিস নে কিছু যে তোরে পাগল বলে তারে তুই বলিস নে কিছু আজকে তোরে কেমন ভেবে আজকে তোরে কেমন ভেবে অঙ্গে যে তোর ধুলো দেবে আজকে তোরে কেমন ভেবে অঙ্গে যে তোর ধুলো দেবে কাল শিমরাতে বালা হাতে কাল শিমরাতে বালা হাতে আসবে রে তোর পিছু পিছু যে তোরে পাগল বলে তারে তুই বলিস নে যে তোরে পাগল বলে তারে তুই বলিস নে আজকে আপনাদের ঘরে আজকে আপনাদের ঘরে থাকছে বসে তোদের পরে আজকে আপনাদের ঘরে থাকছে বসে তোদের পরে কালকে প্রেমে আসবে নেবে কালকে প্রেমে আসবে নেবে করবে সে তার পাখালি যে তোরে পাগল বলে তারে তুই বলিস নে যে তোরে পাগল বলে তারে তুই বলিস নে পাগল বলে তারে তুই বলিস নে কিছু
আমি অকৃতি অধম বলেও তো কিছু কম করে মোরে দাওনি আমি অকৃতি অধম বলেও তো কিছু কম করে মোরে দাওনি যাও দিয়েছ তারে অযোগ্য ভাবিয়া যাও দিয়েছ তারে অযোগ্য ভাবিয়া কেড়েও তো কিছু না বলি আমি অকৃতি অধম বলেও তো কিছু কম করে মোরে দাওনি তব আশিস কুসুম ধরি নাই শিরে পায়ে ধরে গেছি কাহিলাই ফিরে শিশ কুসুম ধরি নাই শিরে পায়ে ধরে গেছি চাহিলাই ফিরে দয়া করে কে বলি দিয়েছ তবু দয়া করে কে বলি দিয়েছ প্রতিদান কিছু চাওনি আমি অকৃতি অধম বলেও তো কিছু কম করে মোরে দাওনি আমি ছুটিয়া বেড়াই জানি না কি আসে সুধা পান করে মরি গতি আসে ছুটিয়া বেড়াই জানি না কি আসে সুধা পান করে মরি গতি আসে তবু যাহা চাই সকলে দিয়েছ তুমিও তো কিছু পাওনি আমায় রাখিতে চাহো বাঁধনে আটিয়া শতবার যায় বাঁধন কাটিয়া রাখিতে চাহো বাঁধনে আটিয়া শতবার যায় বাঁধন কাটিয়া ভাবে ছেড়ে গেছো ফিরে যে দেখি ভাবি আমি ভাবি ছেড়ে গেছো ফিরে যে দেখি এক পাও ছেড়ে যাওনি আমি অকৃতি অধম বলেও তো কিছু কম করে মোরে দাওনি যাও দিয়েছ তারে অযোগ্য ভাবিয়া যাও দিয়েছ তারে অযোগ্য ভাবিয়া কেড়েও তো কিছু না বলি আমি অকৃতি অধম বলেও তো কিছু কম করে মোরে
Justin, that's really, really thank you.
इस जीवन में तुम रहो माँ, मैं नहीं माँ, मैं नहीं। इस जीवन में तुम रहो माँ, मैं नहीं माँ, मैं नहीं। इस जीवन में तुम रहो माँ, मैं नहीं माँ, मैं नहीं। बात जितने तुम कहो माँ, बात जितने तुम कहो माँ, मैं नहीं माँ, मैं नहीं। इस जीवन में तुम रहो माँ, मैं नहीं माँ, मैं नहीं। जितने कर्म है जगत में, जितने धर्म है जीवन में, जितने कर्म है जगत में, जितने धर्म है जीवन में, रूप अनेक है एक ही माँ, और तो कुछ है नहीं। इस जीवन में तुम रहो माँ, तुम हो सागर अपने में अब रंग विशाल, तुम हो सागर, तुम हो सागर अपने में अब रंग विशाल। मैं बनो माँ और मेरापन कहाँ से आए जंजाल, ये जो है माँ संगीत मेरा, ये भी है माँ खेल ही तेरा, ये जो है माँ संगीत मेरा, ये भी है माँ खेल ही तेरा। सतपन की दिया करो माँ, आज भयगा मांगेगी। इस जीवन में तुम रहो माँ, मैं नहीं माँ, मैं नहीं। बात जितने तुम कहो माँ, मैं नहीं माँ, मैं नहीं। इस जीवन में तुम रहो माँ, मैं नहीं माँ, मैं नहीं। সভাঘরে গাহিছে সকলে শোনো শোনো পিতা কহ কানে কানে শোনো প্রাণে প্রাণে মঙ্গল বারতা কহ কানে কানে শোনো প্রাণে প্রাণে মঙ্গল বারতা কহ কানে কানে শোনো প্রাণে প্রাণে মঙ্গল বারতা ক্ষুদ্র আশা নিয়ে রয়েছে বাঁচিয়ে সদাই ভাবনা যা কিছু পায় হারায় যায় না মানে সান্ত্বনা সুখ আসে দিশে দিশে বেড়ায় কাতরে মরিচিকা ধরিতে চায় মরু প্রান্তরে পুরায় বেলা পুরায় খেলা সন্ধ্যা হয়ে আসে কাঁদে কখন আকুল মন কাঁপে পরশে কি হবে গতি বিশ্বপতি শান্তি কোথায় আছে তোমারে দাও আশা পুরাও তুমি এসো কাছে তোমারে দাও আশা পুরাও তুমি এসো কাছে তোমারে দাও আশা পুরাও তুমি এসো কাছে
Need any introduction? As we all know, he has been with us and he is with us all the times. But I need to say a few words about Swami before we invite Swami to come and start his session. Swami is currently the resident minister of the Vedanta Center of Greater Washington, D.C. and he has been serving there since 1997. Swami joined Ramakrishna Order under Swami Swahananda in Vedanta Society of Southern California in 1981. Swami took Brahmacharya from Swami Bhuteshananda at Belur Math in 1992 as well as the Sannyasa course in 1996. As we all see and experience, Swami guides us on the day-to-day operations of our center with the guidance and blessings of Swami Sarvadevanandaji Maharaj. Now I request Swami to come and give his discourse. Thank you, Swami.
So this will be the final session of this three-part talks on the Upanishads. And when we look at the Upanishads, we see there's a great variety. Some of them have a very nice story. We have Kathopanishad with Nachiketa and Yama. Some of them, almost all philosophy. We have say, Mundaka Upanishad, there's one single question, the rest of it is an answer to that question. Then some of the old Upanishads, Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad and Chandogya Upanishad, there are lots of different stories and incidents and things that are kind of coupled together. These are some of the most interesting ones, but all of them are interesting. Mostly in the Upanishads, we find a lot of philosophy. And in Vedanta, usually we talk about the philosophical side and the devotional side. Now, sometimes we overlook a very important aspect of Vedanta thought, which is the psychological side. And we find, especially in the Bhagavad Gita and some other texts also, that we get some very, very astute and very, very subtle understanding of the way the human mind works. And with regard to questions of motivation and free will and different things, we look at how hard Sri Krishna had to convince Arjuna to fight in the battle, and this constant battle that we have with our lower nature and higher nature. All of these fit in with the philosophy, but they're leaning towards the psychological side, which is extremely important. So I want to concentrate on one single section from Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad. As I say, one of the two oldest of the Upanishads, which will deal with some of these psychological questions, how we deal with the different passions and the different difficulties and problems in life. This is section 2 of chapter 5, and Shankaracharya, he spends a lot of time in his commentary on this particular section. He calls this the three great disciplines. Now, before I get ahead of myself, the actual title of this is The Thunder Cries, Da, Da, Da. It's a very famous section from the Upanishads, and it has to do with some instructions that are given by Prajapati to his three sets of sons, the gods, the devas, the human beings, manushas, and the asuras, the demons. Now, this Vedic tradition also has its own kind of storyline. We may say even in Vedic mythology, if we like, that Brahma will be somehow responsible for creation, but when we get to the individual living beings, we have this figure, Prajapati. So, and sometimes there are many Prajapatis, but anyhow, he seems to be like the father figure that is responsible for the birth of these three sets of sons. Where the daughters come from, we don't know, and how they propagate, we don't know, but this is just the way this early tradition is. So, something like in the Day2 Upanishad, where we have a graduation ceremony at the time of the end of the period of brahmacharya. We get some instructions that are given to these graduating students. This is a similar type of thing with these three sets of sons of Prajapati as they're about to go into the world. So yeah, a lot of this we can't question the realism of all of this. Is all symbolic, and we'll find that the three sets of the sons are all of us. That we'll all have a little bit of the devas, we'll all have a little bit of the human beings, we'll all have a little bit of the demons within us. So everything will be relevant to all of us. So this starts with a question that will be asked at the end of this period by the three different sets of students. Pravitu no bhavan iti. Please instruct us, sir. So this is how the whole section starts. And then first the devas will ask this question and they'll get a particular teaching. So we get this Tebhyo ha etat aksharam uvacha da iti. So he spoke the single syllable to them, da. Okay, so all very mysterious so far. We don't know if somebody says to us, this is my teaching to you, da, we won't know what they're talking about. Anyhow, so this is how it starts. And then Prajapati asked them, did you understand? He asked the Devas, did you understand? And they replied, yes, we have understood. Now, what did they understand? They said to him, you were telling us, Damyata, control yourselves. So, see the psychology behind this, that we can say he's giving a different set of teachings to all of them, but he's using the same word. Each one will understand it in their own different way, and they'll gain from all of this. So they say that yes, when you said da, you meant control yourselves, Damyata, and then Prajapati replied, yes, you've understood exactly what I meant to say when I said da. Now, the human beings come along, they ask the same question, that please instruct us, sir, and they get the same answer, that he says da. So then he says to the human beings that have you understood? And they said, yes, we have understood. What you mean to say is, Datta, be charitable. So then Prajapati says, yes, you have understood exactly what I meant to tell you. So the first da means one thing, second da means a completely different thing. Now the demons, the asuras, they come to their father, Prajapati. Same language will be here, that please instruct us, and the same reply will be there, da. So then he asks them, have you understood what I meant to tell you when I said da? And the demons, they said, yes, we've understood. And they said, what you're telling us is, Dayadhvam, be compassionate. Daya. So he said, be compassionate. And then again, this Prajapati, he was very pleased, and he said, yes, you have understood exactly what I meant to say. So look at the interesting setup we have for this section of the Upanishad, that da is the same answer for all of them, but it's a different answer for all of them, because he knows they'll understand it in their own way. And then he says, da, da, da. So now we're going to get it 3 times in a row, and this indicates all 3. Damyata, datta, dayadhvam. Practice self-control, give in charity, show compassion. Now, all of this is meant to show that each of the 3 classes of sons will have each their own particular thing that they need to learn and concentrate and practice. Now, we'll question maybe why each set gets the particular one, but anyhow, this is the point of the whole thing. And so we get these 3 things: Dhamma, this self-control; Dana, this charity; and Daya, compassion. So these are the 3 teachings that are meant for the 3 different sets of sons. But because he says all of them together, finally at the end we realize they're meant for all of them, and they're meant for all of us, because we also have our divine nature, our human nature, and a little bit of a demonic nature sometimes. So the teaching is meant for all of us and all of the sons, but each one has a special need because of their natures are all a little bit different. So we get to this doctrine of adhikara. This is a very important doctrine that we have in Vedanta, that the particular spiritual path that we follow and the understanding that we have has to be suited to our capabilities, to our needs, to our liking. Sri Ramakrishna gives a beautiful illustration of the mother who's cooking fish for the children. And she has different children, some of them liking for a certain type of preparation. So she knows who likes which type of preparation and who is capable of digesting them. So he uses this language, ruchi bheda. There's a distinction in the different tastes that we have. Some of us are drawn to the path of knowledge, some to the path of devotion, some to the path of karma, and some to meditation. But are we suited for them? So this is the other part. Can we digest it? And so he calls it Hajam Shakti. Yeah, this is power of digestion. So these are very critical questions that we have in Vedanta. Sometimes we feel that we're drawn to a particular path and we're not really suited for it. Now, it's not a question of we're not smart enough or we're not good enough. These are questions of swabhava. What is our nature? We have certain illustrations of this when we go through the Gospel of Sri Krishna. One example I like very much is Vijay Krishna Goswami, that he became a member of the Brahmo Samaj and felt somehow drawn towards Keshav Chandra Sen and this type of devotional tradition that the Brahmo Samaj had, but without the help of any type of formal worship, image worship, or anything like that. And Sri Ramakrishna knew that he had a highly devotional nature. He came from a Goswami family that for generations had been great Vaishnava devotees, and somehow he knew that this wasn't exactly suited for him, and he was right. That at some point, Vijay Krishna Goswami, he had to leave the Brahmo Samaj. He became a very saintly figure in the Vaishnava tradition. So, or if we look at the case of Arjuna, that he thought that rather than kill my kinsmen, let me become like a wandering holy man. I'll simply beg my food. I'll try to lead a simple, humble type of life. And Sri Krishna said to him that, well, it doesn't matter if you like this or you don't like it. This is not your nature. Your swabhava will make you fight because you're a warrior. Of course, this brings in many questions. To what extent can we change our nature? So these are very tricky questions. Just very generally, I'll say that when it comes to these samskaras, these bad habits that we have and everything, we have to believe that we can change. When it comes to some very deep inherent aspects of our personality, it's better to try to do our spiritual life with the help of them. This is what Swami Vivekananda says, take the path of least resistance. Yeah. So in any event, we'll see that these three classes of people, of children of Prajapati, and we may recognize ourselves in one more than the other. We may say that, yes, I need to follow the path of the demons because my problem is that I get angry too easily. Or the human beings become stingy. I don't like to give. So we'll see this kind of application that can be done with all of these. Now, what Shankaracharya does is very brilliant. Very brilliant is that he ties this section to one particular verse from the Bhagavad Gita. This is verse 1621. It says, Trividham nargasyedam dwaram nasanam atmanah kama krodhas tata lobhas tasmat etat trayam tyajet. So Trividham, so threefold. So the threefold is this door that leads to Naraka, this gate to hell, we can say, which will atmana nasanam, which will destroy us. This isn't literally going to hell. This is if we don't take some remedy to things which are faults within ourselves, shortcomings, and then we won't make any progress in spiritual life. Then we get these three. Kama is the first one. Krodha is the second. So kama, lust or desire. Desire in general, lust in particular. Krodha, anger. This is the second one. And lobha, greed. Exactly the three things of the three sons of Prajapati. That for the gods, kama is the problem, so they have to practice self-control. For the humans, krodha, anger, so they have to learn to be good people, and lobha, greed. They have to learn to be charitable. So this is the way that Shankaracharya explains it in a very beautiful way. So this verse says, threefold is the gate to hell, which destroys one's very soul. Kama, passion, lust, or desire. Krodha, anger, and lobha, greed. Therefore, one should reject these three. Tasmat etat trayam tyajet. So, the way Shankaracharya explains this is that each of the three classes, the gods, the humans, and the demons, they had a very good understanding of their own nature. They were a little introspective. They were, yeah, they were intelligent enough to understand how to interpret this single syllable da. Because deep down they know, yes, our problem is kama, our problem is krodha, our problem is lobha. It's whether it's lust or anger or greed. Somehow they knew that this was something that they had to specifically work on. So this is one thing that we all have to do, of course. We have to practice a little bit of introspection and see where these defects lie within us and which ones are really problematic for us. So there's some very subtle psychological force at play here, which allows them to take the same syllable da and interpret it in the way that's most important for them. So the gods, they may have been very charitable people, they may be very compassionate people, but kama is the problem. So this is the way the whole thing is explained, and the same thing with all of the others. The human beings, their main shortcoming is lobha, greed. So they thinking the money and not wanting to give it up. Now, we may say again that we shouldn't take this too literally, because these three sets are all human beings. It's all us. We have different levels to our being and aspects and everything. So, and then with the demons, that somehow they knew that they suffered from a little bit from cruelty and anger. So this krodha, this is the one thing that they specifically had to work on. So I want to just briefly go through these three different elements that we can say. The first, Dhamma. Dhamma, we know from Shamadhamma and our path of yoga and Vedanta that every spiritual path begins with some moral and ethical standards that we have to follow. And they all are based on self-control. And now there's another long conversation that I don't want to go through with regard to how much free will do we have and how much are we bound by our nature and everything. In spiritual life, I think it's better to assume that everything is up to us. Yeah. That the shokli tomari icha, that's at the end of the road. Everything is your will, oh mother. Whatever I say only what you make me say. Yeah. That we can't say that. You know, there's Duryodhana. There's a very beautiful, that beautiful verse that I know what dharma is, but I don't do it. I know what adharma is, but I don't cease from doing it. And he's looking at Sri Krishna. He says, yeah, Tvaya Rishikena, Ridhistita, by you dwelling within my heart. And yata, prayukto, as you make me do, tatakarami, I do as you make me. So this statement that Sri Ramakrishna can make as the highest possible truth for the perfectly pure soul is the highest possible hypocrisy for ordinary people. Yeah. For me to say that I don't do anything that's not at the prompting of the Divine Mother. It's a joke, right? So we have to understand that while we can't say that everything we do is the will of God, we also can't say that, look, I'm not responsible, this is my own nature. See, the Gita confuses us. When it says we're all slaves to our own nature. Parakuri yanti bhutani nigura kim karisiti. That we follow our own lower nature. What good does self-control do? That don't blame me. You know I have a bad temper and I lose my temper. It's not my fault, don't blame me. Yeah, we can't do that. We have to take responsibility. We can say, I know I have a tendency to get angry, but I also know that I can stop myself or at least try. Yeah. So this is Dhamma. This everything in spiritual life really requires us to have a belief in willpower that we can really do it. How Thakur emphasizes this. We think Thakur everything is Sharanagati. That I do as mother makes me do. But how much emphasis he puts on determination and grit. who broke time. You have to really, be a Swamiji. How much on this idea of patience and perseverance and self-effort? Yeah, he says in one place, quoting from some Purana, I think, that if somebody tells you to take a blade of grass and empty the water of the ocean one drop at a time with this blade of grass, you should say, yes, I can do it. So we have to have some belief if we want to practice this Dhamma, that we can learn to control the passions. So this kama is the main passion. Now, why is kama, if we take it as lust, and Thakur is constantly talking about the kama kanchan and all this lust and gold and everything. Why are the gods the ones who are supposed to have this? We would think maybe the demons. It's very curious. I don't have a very good answer, but I think that what they're trying to show in this passage is that no one is free from this kama, krodha, lobha. That no one is free from the passions. That we shouldn't feel guilty about it. That this is part of what it means to be a human being. We're kind of wired that way. I have this theory about this Darwinian samskaras. That because we belong to this animal kingdom, that all of the things about animals, propagation of the species and selection of all of the different things he talks about, they apply to us also. So we have to understand that these passions are something that are common to each and every one of us, but it doesn't mean that we can't try to control them. So this is the point of all of that. There was a very interesting section in the Gospel of Sri Krishna. There's one Dr. Bhaduri. We generally don't quote him. We quote Sri Krishna, of course. But there was a conversation that took place between Sri Krishna and Dr. Sharkar, this Mahendra Lal Sharkar. He was very outspoken. Thakur was very affectionate, and they had a very nice relationship. Although the Dr. Sharkar was constantly arguing with Sri Krishna. And Thakur was very patient with him. But one time, Dr. Sharkar, in the middle of Sri Krishna, he's saying something, and he says to him, listen to me. Thakur got a little bit angry. A little bit angry, and he said, why should I listen to you? And then he said, you're kami, lobhi, ahankari. So he's saying, why should I listen to you? You're a lustful, greedy, arrogant, egotistical person. Why should I listen to you? Now, so this Dr. Sharkar, naturally, he got offended. And he said, okay, if you want it like that, I'll simply come, I'll examine you, and I'll leave, because they used to talk for hours on it. Now, this Dr. Bhaduri is there, and he wanted to smooth things out a little bit. So he said something very, very nice. He said, why do you get offended? He's simply saying that you're a jiva. That you're a human being. These are simply the qualities that every human being has. Don't take it so personally. So it's a very nice way of understanding it, that we all have to observe and analyze the way in which these passions work within us. Now, Sri Ramakrishna, he was a genius when it came to psychology also, that he said that there'll be some of these passions that rather than fight against them, give them a twist. Yeah, utilize them. This longing for a fulfillment of desire, let that longing be for God realization. Yeah. Swami Sarvadaranti said something very, very nice yesterday, many things, but I like this idea that, we can't always fight against this kama, these desires that we have. Sometimes we have to fulfill them and get rid of them, or see that they just cause more trouble and everything. So there are different ways in which we can learn to deal with this idea of kama. One thing we know is that when desires arise within us, and even when thoughts come to the surface of the mind, that we have no control over these things. Long term, we may, but just in general, they simply come at different times from deep down within. We don't know exactly why or exactly how. our job is then to decide how do we act upon these things. So sometimes they say that this free will or willpower works with this ability to say no. When that desire comes to have some type of enjoyment, the desire comes to be angry, to criticize somebody else, and then we catch it, and then we say no, I won't give into it. This is really what Swamiji meant when he said that these things are natural, and spiritual life means fighting with nature. So we have to learn somehow what we do with all of these different things. And even in Gita, this chapter 2 section on the Stita Prajna, there's a verse that I like very much that talks that Stita Prajna is a God-realized soul, is a perfect soul who is not shaken by anything. Now, this verse says that even for such a perfect soul, that desires may arise. They may arise in the mind of these great souls, but they're not moved by them. And then we get this example. See, if a river comes from the Himalayas, and we try to bathe in it, there is rushing the force. We can't withstand that force. But by the time it gets to the ocean, then very gently the water enters into the ocean, doesn't raise any waves or ripples or anything. So for this Stita Prajna, this God-realized soul, these desires will enter just as a river enters into the ocean. The ocean is not disturbed by it. So we should never think that if we have any of these lustful thoughts, passion thoughts, different passions, and all of these things, that there's something terrible about us. We're bad people. This is what it means to be a human being. This lust, sometimes they ask, when will this leave us? This all the different passions. And lust sometimes is lust for power, and lust for money and other types of enjoyment. But when can somebody be absolutely free, and when we feel safe that we're actually free from all of these things, that nothing can tempt us? When is that possible? We have a nice little verse. Pure devo vore chai. Yeah. When the body is burned into ashes and the ashes are flying up in the air, and then we can say, yeah, this is a good person. We don't have to worry about this person. So anyhow, I'm going through all of this because there's a little tendency sometimes for us to have a poor self-image and to think, oh, we're the only ones who suffer from all of these passions. The mind is always hankering after this and that. Just to understand that we all have to deal with these things. Some more and some less. So there are some people that really are quite free from all of this. Now, Sri Ramakrishna, he has his own formula that adds to what we read in Gita. In Gita, we read that in order to control the mind, that first of all, we have to understand that it takes time and it takes effort and practice, abhyasa. So this is the first thing. Second thing, it means that we have to lessen this the attraction that the world holds for us. But Sri Ramakrishna has this third thing, that we have to develop some love for something higher, either personal God or this longing for truth, longing for self-realization. That's the most important aspect. If we have that, then everything else automatically becomes less and less. So this is the first thing, that this idea of self-control. And there's another nice verse from Gita. There's one of my favorite verses that says, the person who is able to withstand this tremendous force, this force that comes from the passions, that person is not just a person of self-control, but a happy person. So this kama, krodha, ubhala vega, this force that is born of lust and anger and greed and all of these things that can be controlled to a certain extent. The person who does it is a yogi, a yukta, and sukhina. This is a happy person. So Swami Vivekananda, I'll read a nice quote from Thousand Island Park. He said, control the mind, Cut off the senses, then you are a yogi. After that, all the rest will come. Refuse to hear, to see, to smell, to taste. Take away the mental power from the external organs. You continually do it unconsciously, as when your mind is absorbed. So you can learn to do it consciously. The mind can put the senses where it pleases. Get rid of the fundamental superstition that we are obliged to act through the body, and that means to follow the demands of the passions. We are not. So we all have all of these different ways of attacking this problem. And in the Gita, there's something that I find very interesting. It's a psychological kind of truth. We always assume that we have some desire, that there's some deep force for it, or anything. It doesn't have to be a desire. It can be some psychological complex. It can be some sensitive area that we have. That there's some very deep hidden reason for it, and we have to find that hidden reason. Everything, if we want to eliminate it, we go for analysis and do all of these things. Now, the Gita, it says that the real problem, it doesn't deny that there's, of course, some deep hidden root. The real problem is we allow the mind to dwell on it. Again, in this Day2 Part2 section, very important in chapter 2, that by letting the mind dwell on these things, then this desire it emerges. We won't say that that's the real cause for it. It emerges in the anger and all the different attachment, all these different things come. So there's a verse that somewhere in the other part of Mahabharata, a very nice verse. It says, Kama janami te mulam. Oh, desire, I know your root. Sankalpa tvam hijayase. You're born of sankalpa. Sankalpa means that I keep thinking about it and planning and how will I do it and how will I go this and that. Then it says, Nate sankalpa yashyami. I won't do this sankalpa with you. Tena mena bhavishasi. Then you won't exist for me anymore. So it's simply a way of saying that stop thinking about these things. If these are the things that cause us the great desire and longing, stop thinking about them and stop putting yourself in a position where you're confronted with all of these things. So this is another idea that Sri Ramakrishna emphasized, that protect yourself, build a little hedge around it. See, these people who have some problem with addiction, there are two schools of thought. There are some that say, yeah, you have to be able to even keep a bottle of liquor with you so that you know that it's up to you, that you have to be able to withstand temptation. Others will say, don't go near it. Keep yourself away. Why put yourself in a position where you'll feel tempted by it? So this second version is more of what we'll find in this Gita and for Sri Ramakrishna. We have to protect ourselves and be very careful about, we're careful about the food that we eat, but careful about the things, people we associate with, the books that we read, the movies we see, the friends we keep and everything, so that we're constantly reinforcing the positive aspect. This is why holy company is so important. Why Sri Ramakrishna says this is almost the single thing necessary in spiritual life, most important thing to keep holy company. And one other thing, when these desires arise in the mind, this is from our Raja Yoga, disassociate with the mind, look upon the mind as something separate from ourselves, that I'm not really angry. Some anger, vritti has arisen in the mind. I didn't ask for it, I don't want it, I'm simply observing it, let it go. So there are all the different ways that we can try to deal with this Dhamma. How do we control the mind and control the passions and everything? Okay, now let's go to this idea of be charitable, cultivated giving, loving unselfish nature to overcome this human deficit, the defect of greed. So this is, and there are many people who don't suffer from this at all. I know people, they're not especially religious people, but they're very generous. They'll give away anything. But there are people that they just don't have that spirit. They don't realize the joy that comes actually from giving things away. So there's dana, charity, or generosity, or unselfishness. This is the thing that is supposed to belong specifically to manushya, to the human beings. Now, when we read the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, we remember things that he says that all you want to do in life is to build, dig wells and hospitals and dispensaries for other people. Realize God, but we miss the other parts of it. Yeah, we can't be one-sided. We have to see the other things that Sri Ramakrishna says about giving in charity and everything. There's one of his very close devotees. His name was Surendra, and he was a very generous person. He was one of the ones who supplied the needs for Sri Ramakrishna. So Sri Ramakrishna used to say, look, that you tell lies in the office. He was a wealthy, not fabulously wealthy, but well-to-do businessman. So Sri Ramakrishna said, you tell lies at the office, then why do I eat the food you offer me? He couldn't touch food that was offered by anybody who did anything the least bit immoral or unethical. Couldn't touch it. So this was a big exception. And why do I eat the food you offer me? Because you give your money in charity. You give away more than you earn. The seed of the melon is bigger than the fruit, as the saying goes. And then he goes on. Your giving money away in charity is very good. Those who have money should give in charity. This is the fundraising portion of the weekend. The miser's wealth is spirited away, but the money of the charitable person is saved. He spends it for a righteous purpose. At Kamarpukur, I've seen the farmers cutting channels to irrigate their fields. Sometimes the water rushes in with such force that the ridges around the fields are washed away and the crops are destroyed. For this reason, the farmers make holes here and there in the ridges. Since the water escapes through the holes, the ridges are not destroyed by the rush of water. Furthermore, the escaping water deposits soft clay in the fields, which increase their fertility and give a richer crop. He who gives away in charity achieves great results. He achieves the four fruits of life: dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. I just want to remind everybody of one thing. All we hear in the gospel is this comedy concept. Right? We have to remember kama and artha are the two aims of life for the householder. Ruled by dharma. This is the most important thing. Ruled by dharma, legitimate desires, and to have some possessions and build up a business or whatever we do. This is meant for the householder, and this is how they learn to later to say either I've done it and it wasn't satisfying, I want to give it up, or yes, I fulfilled that desire and everything, and now I'll move on to something more important. So this santosha that comes through this period of life is very important. Sri Ramakrishna used this term bhoganta, that we have to reach the end of our enjoyment. So for some people, just denying and denying it increases that desire. Yeah. Some desires, if we fulfill them, that also increases it. We have to be careful about that, of course. But we have to know some things that very easily we can fulfill, and that's it. Yeah. Say, we have desire to own a nice car. And all my life I wanted to have a sports car. So I bought a sports car once and said, okay, yeah, did you enjoy it? Yeah, I enjoyed it. You want another one? No. It's done. That's fulfilled. Or some may say it was more trouble than it was worth. The thing that I was longing for, I found out was not worth it at all. But at least experiment a little bit. Thakur is in favor of experimenting a little bit, just so we don't get ourselves in trouble. And then one other thing about this charity is that, first of all, it's based on a false idea that we own anything. There's really, we have this line from Ishopanishad, Ma Gridha Kashusvidhanam, and it's interpreted in two different ways. First, it means don't covet anybody's wealth, or don't covet anything, because who has wealth? Who owns anything? If we look at it that way, that we simply we've given the privilege of having certain things in our possession, which we have to use wisely. This idea of stewardship is a very important idea in the Roman Catholic tradition, especially. For monks, it's very easy for us because really the houses that we live in, we don't own. They're not ours, but everyone can feel like that. So Sri Ramakrishna gives the example of the maid servant who constantly refers to her master's home as her own home and his children as her own children, but she knows they don't belong to her. And she has her own home in the country and her own children. That means her real home is in God. Yeah. So we have different ways of looking at all of this. I remember a very nice incident regarding Swami Bhudeshanandaji, one of the past presidents of the Ramakrishna Order. In his very old age, he must have been in his upper 90s even. Doctor said that if you want to be able to survive any longer, you need some heart surgery. Something has to be done. I don't remember the details. So they were all afraid to go to him and ask him at that age to undergo another surgery. So someone went, I think Swami Avastanaji probably, he went and explained the situation, that the doctors say that if we perform the surgery, then it'll prolong your life. Maybe you'll get another 6 months or a year or something like that, or you're willing to do it. So he said that when I joined the order, I gave up all sense of ownership and responsibility for anything, including this body. If the trustees all feel that it'll be good for the order, for this body to have that operation, then I'm willing to do it. So we have this problem of attachment to our house and our car and our possessions and family members. He had no attachment even to his own body. Yeah, that he renouncing it, everything. That means also that also belongs to the order. And the other problem with giving in charity is this pride that comes. That we have to be make it very clear to ourselves that it's a privilege to give. That we shouldn't expect anybody to thank us. We shouldn't look for a plaque on the wall. We should feel very grateful that we're able to give. Sri Ramakrishna is talking about this power of money, how this power of money, it owns us. We become slaves to this. He says money is also a great upadhi, means a binding limitation based on ignorance. The possession of money makes such a difference in a person. He is no longer the same person. A Brahmin used to frequent the temple garden. Outwardly, he was very modest. One day, I went to Konagar with Hridoy, his nephew. No sooner did we get off the bus than we noticed the Brahmin seated on the bank of the Ganges. We thought he had been enjoying the fresh air. Looking at us, he said, "Hello there, priest. How do you do?" I marked his tone and said to Hridoy, "The man must have got some money. That is why he talks that way." Hridoy laughed. And then he says, "A frog had a rupee which he kept in his hole. One day an elephant was going over the hole, and the frog, coming out in a fit of anger, raised his foot as if to kick the elephant. And he said, 'How dare you walk over my head?' Such is the pride that money begets." So all of this, we know all of these things. We have to really just know how to deal with these things. Really a little humility with regard to these things. And this idea, Swamiji's idea is so beautiful that we should feel the privilege to be able to give if it's of some service to other people. Okay, now, before I stop, I want to get to the last one. Oh, one more thing. We'll stick with this Dana. One more nice quote I have is giving in charity. This is a letter of Swami Shivananda Mahapurush Maharaj to a householder devotee. What then is good work or selfless work? It is helping the poor and the distressed to the best of your ability. Suppose you are supporting a needy man by giving him free meals, or you are helping to educate a poor boy by providing him with food and other necessities. I will deem that good work, a good enough work for an individual. Look around and you will see the many opportunities to do philanthropic work. It is not a question of opportunity. It is a question of whether you want to do it or not. And once you begin doing such humanitarian work, your outlook on life will change altogether. Life will no longer seem to be torture. While serving others, remember God all the time. Always think of Him and repeat His name. Go on doing similar things. This will give you peace of mind. Okay, now, Daya, compassion. This is the third one, a little similar. We don't find such a big distinction to giving and charity, having compassion for others. Now, this idea of compassion, Daya, again, it's very easy for us to misunderstand the teachings of Sri Ramakrishna. That we all know one very, very famous incident when Sri Ramakrishna was talking about some of the teachings of Chaitanya Deva, and he gets to this Jiva Daya, this compassion to living beings, and he goes into some spiritual mood. He goes in some state of bhava. And whenever he comes down, he speaks through inspiration. He's not holding back anything. Then we can really say Divine Mother speaking through him perfectly. So then he says, who are you to show compassion on anybody else? He said, we're all like little worms crawling on the ground. That is not compassion. You see, the God in others is service. It's worship, highest worship of Shiva, service to human beings. This is the basis for Swamiji's his motto, Shiva Gyane, Jiva Seva. So all worship or helping other people should be looked upon as actual worship of love. See, in Vedanta, we always talk about find God dwelling within your heart. God dwells within my heart, He dwells within your heart. I can find God dwelling within everybody's heart. And then if I won't even feel that, how can I show compassion in that way? Can a mother show compassion to a child? See, there's another conversation that, will you say, oh, mother, you changed the diaper, oh, how compassionate you are. What? Compassion is my child. Yeah? Do you remember when Sri Ramakrishna said to the Sikhs always called God Dayamai, the compassionate one. He said, why do you say compassionate one? And they said, well, why shouldn't we say it? Isn't He compassionate? He said, that's not what I mean. What I mean to say is that we belong to God. We're His very own children, like the mother. That we can expect, there's nothing special about it. And then Sri Ramakrishna makes a beautiful statement. He says, Jar doya nei, she manush hoy manush noi. Those who don't have compassion, even though they look like a human being, they're not to be considered even a human being at all. So forget about this just being the demons. So this idea of compassion, we have to understand that it's not that Sri Ramakrishna didn't like it. It wasn't high enough. That's all. And he made this other distinction. This is a very positive sense. That same love we feel for our near and dear ones equals Maya. He's expanded. And then that equals Adaya, that the way we love our very own children and husband and wife and parents, if we can learn to love everybody that way, that will be real, true type of Daya, and real true type of compassion. So I think I should probably stop. We have time for questions, huh? So let me just, another nice incident here. This real feeling of compassion for other people that we read in the life of Swami Brahmananda. He was sitting, he was in the Kankal Ashram, one of our hospital centers, and he's sitting on the veranda, and he heard some of the patients moaning and groaning in pain. And each time they heard this Swami Brahmananda say, aha, exactly as if he were experiencing the pain. And he didn't know any of them. And with Swamiji, he hears about an earthquake in Fiji or some other place, how many people died, and as if his own relatives died. He made no distinction. So this expansion, this is a real type of Daya that we have. So, yeah, so this is the point of all of this, that now we understand that each one of us has a little bit of the element of these three, of the devas, of the Manushi human beings, and the demons, the asuras, and that all of these are meant for us. That if we want to not only make progress in spiritual life, but if we want to be happy in life. See, no one is happy unless they have a little bit of self-control and this unselfishness. These for Swamiji, this unselfishness with God. That was one of his great teachings, that we have to learn to practice this selflessness. Okay, so let me stop here. We can I can take questions, or we can begin this session where both of us sit there. Any specific questions with regard to this? Let me just see. This is supposed to go to 4:15.
We have
Okay.
extra.
If you want to give me, ask questions for 10 minutes, then Maharaj and I will sit there, and then it'll be open for any type of questions that you want. Yeah, you're insisting that I talk about the building.
Later, not now. Take that.
Yeah, yes.
Thank you very much for
Yeah.
this talk today. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah,
Wait a moment.
but people on YouTube can't hear.
Speak louder. Hello? So I have a question around parenthood, and in passing what you just said, right? You talked about self-awareness with morality being your dharma. When we are bringing up the next generation, with the changing times, some definition of morality is evolving. And there's a lack of it right now in the society, and the trends suggest it's only going to diminish. What would you suggest to practice as a leader of a household so that the morality can be imbibed in the kids as we bring them up?
Yes, Sri Ramakrishna gave special emphasis to truthfulness. Truthfulness will be one of the important things. And I think that family traditions can transcend, cultural traditions. Society is changing, as you say. If the kids can understand that, don't worry about what the other kids are allowed to do, that we have our own cultural traditions, family traditions, moral, ethical traditions, and be a little firm. And the most important thing is that parents set the example. The kid will not listen to anything if they see the parents saying one thing and doing something else. If they see that really the parents are like that, you won't have to push them too much. I think that they'll imbibe that, and they should take pride in that also. We look at Nachiketa, how much pride he had in that family tradition of always telling the truth, and wanting to go to Yama, for his father's sake, to rectify things and everything. So I can't give the very many specifics with all of this, but I think the way that you were raised with the traditions from your parents, probably if you could just pass them on and let the kids understand that in some things there have to be flexibility and changing with times and culture and everything, and some things they have to really be very strong about. I'll tell you a beautiful statement that was made by Swami Turiyananda, that he was on a walk with this Ida Ansel, I think, or Shraddha, this one American woman, devotee, a disciple of his, and suddenly he turned to her and he said, do you go with the flow or do you stand firm with things? And she didn't know what he meant. So he said, when it comes to opinions and trends and things, then be a little flexible, flow with the river. And when it comes to real belief, when it comes to your principle, stand firm like a rock. So if we can explain to kids the difference between the two, and the times when they simply maybe have to tell their friends, yeah, sorry, I can't do that. Yeah. If we can teach them that, and that there are things more important than pleasing friends and everything. Because peer pressure is a terrible thing. Yeah, a very difficult thing. Anyhow, I wish you all the best raising children nowadays. Rocky.
Yeah, you talked about the Rakshasas, the demon.
Yes.
And we have an idea or whatever, I'm sorry, we have an idea or we think about the Rakshasas as different, right? So how does it come with Daya? They never do Daya.
Well, that's the whole point. This is what they need to learn. We're using them as an example of those who have no understanding of compassion, but they understood that they understood at least that much. We know that we're cruel, mean types of people. So probably when he's saying this, he means learn to be compassionate. That they had that much introspection. Yeah, but we have to understand that they're not really three different classes. These are all human beings. It
I see.
refers to all of us. All of us.
I see.
We all always have some negative tendencies and very good things and everything. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay, so we'll end this session now. Swamiji and I will sit there, and now you can ask anything. Day2 is forcing me to talk about this project. If anybody wants to know any of the details about this building project and everything, and
There's any question?
yeah, any questions
Very
with
simple.
regard to that, simple things that we're happy to talk about that also. Otherwise, anything that you heard this weekend or any question you have about spiritual life, and
Hand
spiritual
sit will
practice?
do.
Yeah.
One hand sit
Feel
will do.
free.
We don't need that.
We can do it back and forth. Yeah, okay.
A hand sit will do.
Okay, yes.
Specific to the project, actually, for some of us whose runway is getting shorter by the day.
We'll get to that.
Okay, no, I know. My question is about the project that you're talking about.
No, well, let us shift over now. Now we're finishing the topic of the Upanishad. Topic. Yeah, then we'll go and we'll answer. Yes.
Swamiji, with regard to the Upanishad, what kind of literature do you recommend? I mean, there's several translations within the Ramakrishna organization.
Yes.
And what is the best one? I mean, I'm not a philosopher like Swami Medananda, Dr. Swami Medananda.
Yes.
I'm a normal person who
Yeah.
worked in business, came up with business.
Yeah.
So what is the best way to get started there? I mean, I have tried it many times, different versions I have home, like the Bhagavad Gita. I have
Right.
many different versions at home with different
Yeah.
commentaries.
Yeah.
So what is, in your opinion, for somebody like myself or other people here in this room?
Yeah, I think it, at least for me personally, that all my emphasis is on three things. One is the Gospel of Sri Krishna, second is the Bhagavad Gita, and third will be this teaching of Swami Vivekananda. And then, of course, we have the inspirational things, life of Holy Mother and other things. But in terms of a real philosophical ground and for spiritual practice and spiritual life, I think Gita, Gospel of Sri Krishna. And then some of the Jnana Yoga and the other things from Swami Vivekananda, of course, are very important. But if you pin me down to two, I would say then Gospel and Gita. These two for me.
Thank you.
Now you can ask, sorry.
Hello. Maharaj, relative to the project that we spoke about, for some of us, for selfish reason, because our runway is getting shorter by the day, sooner or later we'll have problems with our walking up the stairs and everything else. To the extent we have a two-story building, and the monk quarters upstairs, I presume there will be some space where there will be some personal meaningful that will take place. The question is for people who will not be able to walk up the stairs, that could be a challenge actually. So any thoughts on that?
That'll be more private space upstairs.
Okay.
It won't be for public meetings.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, Mona?
Yes. Yeah, I was just wondering, is the plan to share some of the details on the website, so as the plans get developed, just for people who are always here who want to follow along, or what are the next steps? If I just wasn't clear on that, and it might still be in planning process.
I'm sure everything will be on the website.
So people have opportunities to
Yeah.
see what's going on, what are the next steps, what are the opportunities
Yes.
to kind of give in certain things.
Right. Don't be afraid to ask spiritual questions also.
Okay, so similar to the
Tell your
first,
name first.
my name is Russell. Similar to the first question about raising kids, I kind of have like a similar but opposite question. It's how do we do our duty to our families and also protect our spirituality when our family does not understand our spiritual path and challenges our spiritual ideals? So, yeah.
That is a very difficult question. You will have to make a balance between that. And parents are old timers, they will like one way. And you are a young person, you will have your own ideology. And also, difference of ideology is there. You are thinking of Vedanta. Your parents will be thinking of Christ and Christianity. So naturally there will be one conflict. But in your heart, there is no conflict. But you have to give what Swamiji says, to teach the children about the principle. Principle of all religion is the same. Truthfulness, honesty, charity, the heart should be open for doing good to others. This type of basic principles. If that idea is given, peripheral things will be changing, and those you can train, give it to the child, what path he or she can choose. But the foundation, character building, that is the idea of Swami Vivekananda. We want man-making, character building education. To give them education, not only physics, chemistry, math, or the family tradition or this and that, but character building, whether in whatever they do, they have some foundation in their strong character of purity, love, and be generous people, to make them feel for others, and also be very efficient and perfectionist. Those are common things, but there is no contradiction. Swamiji want education is the manifestation of the perfection already in man. No. So if we can give this lesson, that spirituality means how you can perfect, how you can make it perfect in every aspect, in your study, in your games, in your any field of life, in your art, in your wherever you live in whatever work you do, how can you do perfectly? If these are fundamental values are given, a character will grow up, and to give them clear ideas and let them grow in their own way. We cannot make a what you call the apple plant to a grape plant, no? Each comes with the samskaras. But Swamiji says it is the duty of the parents to be what? Only to give them fertilizer, give some water, nurture them, take out the weeds, put into the sun, and the plant will grow in its own way. So giving positive thoughts, leading positive thinking, and giving them, and let them select whatever the idea. Conflict will be there, of course, living in the way to adjust it.
question was related to the Jiva. Is there any connections with the people that we are born to or the people in our life? Are they in some way from our past lives as well? And is there like a karmic connection that if maybe I hurt someone in the past life and they're in my life as a different role, father, sister, you know, spouse, or is there any kind of connection? Sorry.
Okay, yeah, yes. Everything is karmic connection if you believe the theory of karma. If you believe the theory of karma, everything is karmic. We are here, so many people were there in karmic point. If you believe in that way, and at this time to this time we are together, someone will have to believe this way, and then I have to go that way. No, and I think that is the, if you believe the karma theory, and there is a cosmic will going on behind it, so everything is connection. And so infinite number of jivas are there. You cannot understand how many maybe. We human beings are how much? 8 point how now? Billion. 8.4 or 5 or 7, I don't know. Some billions. There's nothing. You go to the plant world, how many plants are there? You go to the leaves and then dissect themselves in our body, how many cells are there? How many bacteria are there? One pill, probiotic, 125 billion bacteria are there. So all are living entities, no? So in the vast mass of creation, we can say it is accidental, or you can say there is some karmic connection. But that matters little. More emphasis should be given what I can do now.
Yeah, I had a question too. So, with the family situation, right? We see like we're spiritually inclined and we believe, and the knowledge that we have, you know, we're changing our lives and making it better. And we do see like consequence. I mean, we see like good things happen to us, you know, internally. But we see that our family, our friends, are still like in that same, you know, the demonic, you know, sort of like, how do you get over it? Because you're seeing them in pain, you know, you're seeing them suffer, and you're in a better position. Like, how do you not feel guilty, like just watching them like make their own decisions and not, yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes we feel that, of course, with very close people, it's one thing, but sometimes we feel that, yeah, we found some type of secret and we want to make sure everybody else knows it, and they're not interested. Yeah. And they may feel that they have the secret and we're not interested. Yeah. So we have to realize the limitations here, that there may be some cases where our lives are so much better that we have such great sincerity in what we're doing that other people will see it and they'll be interested and they'll want to find out more about it. There'll be other people who will be appreciative and everything, but not be interested in changing. Then there'll be other people who will be resentful. So there are all different types of reactions. We can't control all of these things. If near and dear ones somehow show some type of interest and we feel that we can give them an opportunity to learn something about all of this, then of course we should try. But we have enough things to deal with in our own lives before we start trying to fix everybody else also. That's another way of looking at it.
And mostly we cannot do anything.
Yeah, mostly, exactly.
No one learns. If you tell me something, if I don't accept it, your words will be creating anger in me. First I tolerate one day. Second day I tolerate. Third day I retaliate. No. So better not to say much. Pray to God spiritually. And if you have the opportunity, just say sweetly, softly, but know that everyone is working their own karma. Everyone is born with some impulses, and that impulses they will have to undergo, and complete their circuit to come back to understand that this is not the path of perfection, this is not the path which leads me to peace, and this is not the path to lead us to the joy, what we wanted in our life. So if we, what is our resentment is our problem. Why this person is not behaving like that, as in my headache. You have no responsibility in the whole world. As a family member, yes, you say. As a friend, you say. You think what is good. Your own child, you say. But you cannot change anybody. If you look at that, Holy Mother is the greatest example in the world. We should learn what Mother said. Mother knew that Amjad is a dacoit. Mother never said, hey, why do you go to steal again? Don't go. Mother never gave additional advice. We always give advice. Hey, you do this. It's not right. Whereas you have done that. That's why no one loves us. First time they will say, okay, I tolerate. Second time you tell me, ha. Third time you say, even then resentment. I see the condition of our parents whose children are growing and going to college. And they have been so much, they'll do this, do that. As soon as they get into the high school ending, goes to the college, if they live in Hollywood area, they come to the Boston. Boston people will go to the UCLA or USC. And then they don't want to be closer. Some want to be San Diego. They will come in weekend to dump all the clothing to mom and dad. But they will not listen to anything, just to be away. So this is, it is the realistic picture. I'm not criticizing anybody, but it is the realistic picture. It does not happen. Therefore, we have to understand how we can benefit out of that. What I can do, if I cannot, my words don't have any effect. It is useless to say that tell the Lord He is the Ishvara Sarvabhutanam Hridyase Arjuna Brahmayan Sarvabhutani. It is God's will, no? Tell Mother, tell Ramakrishna, tell your Ishtadevas. Oh, see, this is going on, I love. They should do something good for them. That benefits me also. When I am praying, see the dual impact. When I am doing that prayer, it is uplifting my condition. My not anger, not frustration, nothing. And I love, out of love, I am saying secretly for the good of my child or my mom or my dad or my friend, whoever. Even people suffering in Bangladesh, even people suffering in the Calcutta story of our Arjikar, the whole shocking things going on all over. Just call, just hear. I cannot do anything. With a tearful eyes, can I say for them what an uplifting mood it will bring? That is called real spirituality. Changing anybody, what we try, it is a false process. Changing others cannot happen unless I change myself. I want to change everybody, but never to change myself. My change is that I am not the boss of the world, no responsibility of the world. আমার উপর নাই ভুবনের ভার কে বলেছে রবীন্দ্রনাথ ঠাকুর said, I have no responsibility of the whole world upon me. But this opportunity is given so that I can improve my quality. জগতে এত দুঃখ কেন? স্বামীজি বলেছেন, why is so much suffering in the world? To make you great. Others are suffering for you. So that you become compassionate. You feel, oh, that person is suffering so much. Otherwise you will be self-contained and selfish. Never think of anyone's cries and weeping. A person is suffering to make you great, that person is suffering for you. So these are the different attitudes. That's why I think that we should try by our love and affection as much as we can. Where I cannot, take hands off. You are not the boss of everything. Come to the boss and talk to him. Okay, thank you.
Maharaj, when you read the lives of all the spiritual leaders of the Ramakrishna order, the word meditation, people going in the meditative state, they talk about it. So my question for us, for some of you have initiated, we do japa. What is the difference between that japa and meditation? Can you please explain the difference?
Of course, it depends on the type of meditation we do. If our meditation includes repetition of the mantra, and if our repetition of the mantra includes concentrating on the meaning of it, then there's not a tremendous amount of difference between japa and meditation. The difference mainly in japa, we try to keep track of the number of times we do it, and in meditation, we try to go a little bit deeper if we can. For some people, meditation means more focusing on the image of the Ishtadevata, and some will even for meditation they won't repeat mantra. This is not standard in our tradition, but there are some like that. So it depends on the instructions a little bit that you get. Otherwise, it's a question of the emphasis, I think. That whether we concentrate more on the repetition of the mantra, or concentrate more on going deep within. If we really do japa the way we're supposed to, it is meditation. And if we do our meditation with the help of the mantra, then it's also japa together. Only we don't have to worry about the keeping number of the count. That seems to be a kind of superficial difference, but I don't find such tremendous difference between this practice of japa and meditation. We can do japa without just letting the mind wander. We can do it throughout the day, of course. Just learn to repeat the mantra. Meditation, we should really be sitting quietly and have a special time and a place for it, and to try to go a little deeper within. But otherwise, these two elements are usually present in both. That the image of the Ishtadevata and the repetition of the mantra.
We can think this way also. Mantra, the Guru has given some mantra, or everyone has some mantra. Even someone say, oh, no mantra. And mantra is some words, no? Every word has a corresponding object, isn't it? A glass. See? Glass object is coming in our mind. A cup. Cup. That is sound cup has a corresponding object. So when we talk about our mantra, it has its corresponding object. Now, what is the object? That object is God. And in our mantra, we have three parts of the mantra you find. One is the form aspect, another is in between called bija, another is the Om, that is the universal Brahman aspect. Actually, it is just all meditation or all japa leads into that penetration into the form, to the Shakti, to the Swarupa. Shakti means mother, no? That's why it says mother's grace. Whatever you do, lastly, mother's grace, mother's grace. Shankaracharya says, Makshadwaro kapat patanakari kashipuradishwari vikshang dehi kripavalambanakari Mata Annapurneshwari. Oh Mata Annapurna, get wide open my gate of liberation. No? Makshadwaro, dar, door for mukti, liberation. Kapat patanakari. That's why the bija mantra is in between. Shakti. Brahman became the incarnation through Shakti. Brahman and his Shakti, Thakur said. And Vedanta we call Maya. That's it. And but Bhakti school or other we say it's Mahashakti, Mother, Mahamaya. So mothers grace this. So these are the three. So when you repeat the mantra our Gurus have given, you can focus on the mantra. Our Patanjali says, Tad Japa, Tad Artha Bhavanam. You repeat the mantra and also think of the meaning, what it indicates. What your mantra indicates. Mantra indicates God. God in the personal aspect. Through the Shakti, you go to the impersonal aspect. It is a channel. So when you start our mantra with the counting, we keep counting first because mind runs here and there. To pull the mind close to us, we try to say, repeat the mantra and try to focus on the mantra. Mantra, when is the Thakur said, no? When your mantra reduces into much finer and finer level, tad artha bhavanam will come. It is Ramakrishna's all the wonderful qualities, like Khandana Bhavavan, when you sing all the qualities, Om Hring Nikam, you see that explanation. That is the meaning of your mantra. And thinking of that, when mind moves into that meaning, then your mantra may sometimes stop. Because your focus is turning from external sound to internal sound to the meaning, and meaning going deeper and deeper to that consciousness. So ultimately what Swamiji has said, the japa is we start together, that is our practice. We start together, and then it will automatically, long practice, it will take into the inner level. As Ramakrishna gave the example, Ramakrishna said, people are singing in the dancing in the name of Krishna, no? And say, Nitayamar Matahati, Nitayamar Matahati. Then what he says? Mata, 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 hati, 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 ha, 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 ha. So, Thakur's example is very simple. When they start singing, and he's running the extended line of music, Nitai is my mad elephant. And it's dancing like mad elephant. And then getting absorbed into that, thinking of Nitai, 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 and going absorbed inside, then all the words are not coming out. Only a part of the word is coming. Matahati, 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 hati, 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 ha, 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 ha also stops. So this is the inner, proceeding in the inner chamber of the heart. So mantra japa is a very powerful thing if we think with the artha bhavana. Thank you.
It's a beautiful explanation.
Hi, Swamiji. I have a question. So the whole weekend, yesterday's talk and even today's, a little bit about pure mind and impure mind. And obviously, all of us want to have a pure mind. Would a pure, the way I understand pure mind is mind, which is absorbed in Brahman, or would you say it's pure mind is a mind that just has positive thoughts and tries to be positive in everything that you do?
Yeah, it's purity. Sometimes we make a little distinction: purity of heart and purity of mind. If we think of purity of heart, it'll be really, I think, most important thing is free from selfishness. That purity of motive, that acting out of love. Of course, lessening the desires and the passions and everything. But really, if we can develop this unselfish love for other people, for God, that's all we can expect. If we learn to act without any ulterior motive, if we try to do everything as an offering, if we really try to eliminate, the selfishness. I keep going back to the same thing. The more we can learn to live for others. So Swamiji made that great statement that they alone live who live for others. The rest are more dead than alive. That this purity of heart means purity of motive, and free from all the passions that we talked about, to some extent at least. To some extent. Now this idea of passion, we really need passion in life, but it has to be directed. We should have passion for our jobs, for our family, of course, for our spiritual life, for God realization. We don't want to become dry people and withdrawn and everything, completely detached from everything. But this passion, if it's anything that has to do with just these lower passions, that these are the things that occupy the mind, make meditation impossible, that make it difficult to have good relationships with other people. If we can learn to do all of that, then this is purity of heart. Now, purity of mind has a second meaning to it. When Thakur talks about this pure mind and pure buddhi, being one with the pure Atman. This will be the quiet mind, that pure mind, the quiet mind that is not intruding on itself, that has some transparency to it, that all the waves have become quiet. That pure mind is one with this, with the pure self. If the wave can really recede into the ocean, then there's no distinction, then that's merging into it. But we can't have this pure mind unless we have the pure heart. That's more important. The heart that's filled with passions and selfishness and desires will never become a quiet mind, a pure mind. Again, I go back to this chapter 2 in Gita. There's so many beautiful phrases there about this mind that is prasanna, this mind that's just clear and clean, and it becomes like grace, the grace of the mind. This is also that meaning of pure mind. This Atma-Buddhi Prasada that is born, that this real sattva is born from this mind is perfectly pure and clean and quiet, translucent. Like the pool of water, we can see all of the sand and rocks and everything at the basement, at the bottom of the ocean. That'll really be a pure mind. But what stirs everything up is the passions. So pure mind and pure heart. The first thing we have to work on is this pure heart. If we can really learn to be selfless and learn to get rid of all selfish motive for things and really to live for other people and to have our spiritual goal in mind at all times. And then we can say we're trying to lead a life. But we won't be able to do any of this without meditation, without spiritual practice. That's where we really, if we understand our real nature to be pure, and it is impurity to be just a covering over it, then we can understand it is really possible to attain to that state of purity because it's our own nature.
Yes, purity is a very difficult thing to understand. The mind pure and impure. Yesterday we were reading the Atma Bindu Upanishad, like what is that Upanishad? Amrita Bindu Upanishad. There it says that mind which is Vishaya Ashaktam, which is attached to the sense and sensory objects, finding only that is the only goal, mind runs for that. That is also impure mind. And pure mind, when it discards all these things for higher joy. One point is that we have to understand our mind is seeking something. Is it not? What is seeking? Every mind seeks for what? Peace. Joy, peace, happiness, no? And it is trying to get it with the help of the senses. Mind, the boss of all the senses. Mind wants to get something, seeing something happy, putting something in the tongue happy, and they experiencing something heat, cold, soft, hard, finding to be happy. No, this happiness seeking is for petty little things. When mind understand, I tried this, tried this. No. Withdraw. Pratyahara. No? When this lesson comes, mind tries to find the same joy in some other higher realm. It is becoming pure and pure and pure. As I give the example, like your mantra japa is very good to purify the mind. As Swamiji says, the practical suggestion he has given to be selfless, to think of the others. This is the purification of the mind is happening. It is a sign that we are purifying our mind, not by sitting meditation and doing japa and coming out the same brutal person, same nasty person. No change. That is not spiritual, that is nothing purification of the mind. But how to purify the mind is this process. I give, like suppose we are now raw piece of iron. You want to make it a magnet. What do? You bring another magnet, no? And with the polarity, the one polarity, and pull it this way. Once, twice, thrice, 4 times, no? What happens? The angularities of the iron filings inside there, they gets the orientation, north, south, north, south, north, south. One time you do the mantra, a few maybe there, 5, 10 particles may be oriented. again and again and again you do, ultimately one day it will be all organized in a way that it gains its polarity. Then it becomes a permanent magnet. The permanent magnet is the pure mind. Impure mind is bending towards this, bending towards this. I like this, I want this, I want this. I want to find joy here. I find, okay, I have failed 100 times. Let me try again and get something. And bitterness comes, suffering comes. I don't like it again. That's a process goes on until the mind becomes pure. So purity is a thing. Purity is God. So that will happen for after long practice and really valuing our activities, thoughts, ideas, pure thought, pure thinking, uh, seeing, trying to see God in others, trying to see, feel that it is I am serving God in my all day-to-day work. All these put together purifies the mind. আচ্ছা, তাপস কি বলছিলেন? আচ্ছা।
Can I ask a question? In view of what's happening, you all touched on this a little bit in the world today. And as far as I've seen, the world has gotten more and more chaotic. In the Gita, Sri Krishna did say, Dharma Shamstha Panarthaya Sambhavami Yuge Yuge. So is there a state of the world which will decide the end of it and we start it all anew? It's something that I think about.
You know, I do not know.
That's right.
But you know, only God knows when he will feel time to come back again. Ramakrishna said that he will come after 150 years, or sometimes he says how many years, different places, 200. That is it, God said. But I see, the one thing I see, as many out of worst things, good comes out. Now see, the awakening has come. The women awakening. It is unbelievable. So many years it is going on brutality. In Bangladesh, how many years it is going on? This type of incident, it is come into the picture. It is happening there for so many cases are there all hidden. And everyone is going through that torture, and there in India, not only India, go to Bangladesh, go to Afghanistan, go to these different places in whole world. In this country also it's happening. Sometimes brutal things we find in the newspaper, no? But my point is that now media and other things are making us more aware of it. But one good thing I see, it is God's will, the awakening. No? We are beaten by others. Why? Because we are not united. If anything happens here, okay, it is your happening, I am okay, I am safe. And there are many Bengali babus, don't mind. They feel proud to talk against this unity. They talk against this. They are very most educated people, most they write in Guru Chandali and this and that and different places, and they to understand the what is going on, the intensity of it, and how it can be improved by uniting people together for good cause. And see, one I don't know, one Swami in our in our he has given a bold statement. I am really surprised that is written. What is to be done now? God will come and this will come. Then he said, it is not the time to cry and weep. It is a time to be united. It is a fight of dharma. It is dharma. Adharma, dharma. What is happening, it is adharma. What is happening, it should be done dharma. What is happening? Anyhow, here also something happening. Okay, so it is dharma and adharma. The fight against adharma is to be taken strongly, unitedly, and that is the reaction, that is the solution of it. And that is God. Actually, we cannot do anything unless we are united. And it's mental support. Suppose what happens? Suppose someone loses his or her mom and dad, no? Any friendly person gives a call and tells and sympathize how much it means for them. But who stands for this family? So many years, nothing. No one stand behind this type of people who are being killed and raped and done this brutality. No one supports them. And now at least the whole India is now reacting to this. I think that's a great awakening. It is a starting point of a very noble thing. But I don't say that it is awakening that bad things should happen more. To stop it, there should be some positive force. And war. And he said, Kurukshetra, Arjuna did not want to fight. But Krishna Bhagavan, who wanted peace and happiness, God himself said, it is dharmic war. It is not the point of crying and weeping, saying, we are very compassionate now. Who have done the criminals, they have been caught. Oh, be compassionate to them. They are also human beings. So, no, that should not be the way. Anyhow, and God knows when he will come.
Well, there's a Messiah who's supposed to come.
But Messiah is in us. In us is also Messiah. That should be awakened.
No, I didn't have a question. I had a comment about her.
Okay, you didn't comment.
The comment was that on 6th June in Kathamrita, 1983, Thakur informs us in front of Aghalal's friend that both the liberation and the sanshar, that means working field, is in the hand of the gods. And those who God wants to get liberation, they give them sadhu sangha. That you are all here only tells us that you are at that stage of life when you are getting this sadhu sanghas in front of us. So we should be proud that Thakur has chosen us to be free. So all we have to do is to see how each of us have our own ways. And we have to find our own ways. We do not have to think about anybody else because Thakur has already chosen you to get liberation. So let us feel good about that and choose the right way to progress to Thakur. Thank you.
Oh, very good, very nice. And yeah, we talk about this passion, pride. There's a very good type of pride. We should feel proud that we're devotees. We should feel proud that we're able to contribute to the center. We should feel proud that we can offer our lives to Sri Ramakrishna Holy Mother. This is a good type of pride, not a boasting type of pride, but inner type of pride that we've been given this great privilege. Thank you, Tabusta. That was very nice. I should say one or two words about the building thing before we start.
Yes.
Yeah. Now,
Do you want to show that again?
we can if you want. One thing I want to emphasize is that we have restraints here with regard to the size of the property, with regard to money and everything. It's not going to be a perfect plan. It's not going to be something that everyone will think is the best priority for each and everything. Yeah, it would be good if we had an elevator to the top floor. It would be good if we had more space for people. If more money comes, we can think about maybe expanding a little bit, but then we lose some parking spaces. So everything's a little bit of a compromise. I think the plan we have is a rather good plan. We're still open to suggestions. It can be made better, I'm sure. But it'll be a great boon to this center that, and we can still utilize the area we have downstairs here. It's not that we'll eliminate that completely, but we should be able to get 50, 60 more people to sit for food and to do our own cooking there, and to have a place where visiting sadhus or sometimes guests or something can stay. And it'll be really a great boon to the center. Now, the question of money is if we can raise enough, we really have a good basis for a plan. I think it's not unrealistic to think that we couldn't start next spring, really. And some help may come, of course, from other places, but mostly the money has to be raised by the devotees here. And we heard what Thakur said about giving. We give, we get much more in return. And our Swami Swahanandaji, of course, this was with regard to our centers also. He was very much against the hoarding of money, holding on the money. He was always fighting with the board in Hollywood. They were always afraid to give money to send to help other centers. He was ready to give money away right and left. Yeah. So I also try to follow that as far as possible. So anyhow, some outside help may come, but the more people can contribute here, and at least in the beginning give a pledge, so we have some idea of how much money may come. You don't have to write a check today, but if you can say that, yeah, by the time you want to start construction, they will be willing to give a certain amount of money, then that'll be very helpful. And others who can give money right away, some of our centers have taken interest-free loans from devotees. It'd be better not to have any loans at all, but this is also a possibility. If those are not anxious to get money back right away, and they're willing to be a little patient. But the best thing would be if we have all of the money in hand ahead of time, then we could be very secure. And but it takes commitment, and it also means that some of the running expenses will be up, utilities and other things. There'll be maintenance. There'll be a little more work for cleanup. So it's going to take dedication, not just money. And we need this new generation. I was very happy this weekend to see some new young people coming. And they did so much help with cooking and cleaning and puja and everything. And really the work that the volunteers do here is something really wonderful, that we owe a tremendous amount to a small number of people who really do the majority of work here. And of course, many others not at the age in life where they can do a lot of hard physical work. So we understand that. But to whatever extent people can help, and the more we can encourage young people to come. And we know as a board and the leadership that we have to improve a little on communication and including other people and bringing in new volunteers, but everyone is trying. The most important thing is that we all have to be sincere. We have to be sincere, we have to set our egos aside, and we have to really work for the betterment of everything. And Swami Vivekananda, he made a very great statement. This was incorporated into the rules of the order. This is something that he said at the first meeting when the Ramakrishna Muddy mission was established in 1897, that he said that this Sangha, this monastic order, all of our centers, everything, that all the centers here have to be looked upon as the body of Sri Ramakrishna. To serve the centers, to serve Sri Ramakrishna directly. And I have this conviction that in terms of our spiritual life, that for most of us, service we do to the center will be every bit as important to us in spiritual life as our own spiritual practice. How deep is our meditation and japa and everything? This also has to be looked upon as part of our spiritual practice. It has to be looked upon as worship. We talk about serving others as worship. Serving the center is also worship. And this way we benefit tremendously and we build something important. Some of you may remember I mentioned one of our early meetings, a statement that Swami Ranganathanandaji Maharaj made, one of the great monks of our order, president for many years, the author of many books. He was addressing a group that was starting a center. And he said to them, don't think that this center is for you. Don't think that this center is for your children. Think of this center as for your grandchildren. So that means we have to take a long view of things, that we're building something that will be lasting and will be helpful for generations to come. So if we all have that spirit of service, that spirit of dedication, that feeling of worship, and that whatever we do for the center is really highest type of worship that we can imagine, and to be generous. We don't want anybody to jeopardize their own future. We know that there are people who are retirement age, and that they have to be sensible, make sure that they have enough money so that they're comfortable and can withstand medical emergencies and things. But otherwise, really, it'll be a great benefit, of course, to those who are willing to generously help for this project and for the regular maintenance of the center. So this is I guess a little bit of hopefully a little inspiration for everyone to see the potential that we have here to really build something very lasting and something of great value.
Yes, thanks to Dula and his music group. They are bringing so many young people. Go on, your children will stand here after this. This one rack, next step, this step. And then the music can go on the other side, the tabla can go on the other side. Remove that podium for the time being.
No,
So,
if you can take this to. Yeah, we'll work
I
on
mean,
the
either
details.
this way or the details you can do,
Yeah.
but
This
some
will be a
means
nice-
will be
nice
better.
way
Eh?
of doing it.
So let's start there and then we will think.
Okay,
about
they will
that.
think about that.
That's a good approach. Right now, if the children can stand on the
Yes.
steps.
And in different layers, so no one will be hidden.
Yes.
No one will be hidden.
Yeah, we want to see everybody's face, and
Face.
that's a great solution.
Yeah.
Let's start there and then we can think.
We
of
can
other
think about
problems.
that. And another thing, what Swamiji has said, it resonates with my feeling that all the centers where this, why it is called the Ramakrishna's physical body. Why it is called physical body? It is a concept in the Buddhism. Sangham Sharanam Gacchami. Sangha, why Sangha? Because Sangha is a place where people will come from all different. This Vedanta is also very important. Ramakrishna is unique. It is not sectarian. That's why here Hindus, Muslims, Christians, Jewish people, all will come here. And it will continue to come. We will die. Future generation will be there. They will be there. At least there will be some board. Today's board will go, another board will come, another board will go, another. We will die, another new places will come. It will continue. That's why the emanating the spiritual ideal of harmony, peace, and joy, non-sectarian way, non-proselytizing way, is unique in the world. So to be a part of this movement itself is serving Thakur. That's why it is called this ashram is Thakur's physical body, because this physical body, anyone comes with a physical body like me, I will get the vibe from here. I will hear some spiritual ideals which is non-sectarian and non-doctrinal. And this is the need of the age. That's why Thakur has emphasized so much on harmony of religion. He has practiced his whole life so many ways of doing spiritual practice. There is a uniqueness in the Avatara history. So this is a special place we have to think that to get our energy and future. And that's to think that it is his body. So we have to nurture, do the gardening, take care of this. If I find something wrong, okay, let me try, correct this, that. And everyone's assimilation of people with the same idea, if we unite, we can do wonders. We have so much potential. Everyone has so much potential.
One request, please to come for at least once or twice for the arti.
Yes.
So we can see each other.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
We can see each other. If we don't see each other, these kind of.
No.
Yeah, tell them about that. This is very important.
You know,
Is to come and see Thakur's beautiful, and he's waiting for us all week, like the
That's
Nivedita says.
yeah.
Devashish's wife. Ratmadi feels so sad that Thakur is in dark from Monday to Friday.
Yeah. So if it can be done Monday to Friday and Saturday, Sunday, you are coming here. If you can add Monday to Friday also, yeah, if there's 2 people come, 3 people come, if it is open, but you have to make a strict routine and backup plan. If one fails, they will have to organize among themselves. I am not going, you go, like that.
Is there a list, people volunteers for Arati?
List
Only for weekends for now.
now.
Okay. But even for weekends,
Yes, we do.
yeah, everyone should know, you can approach Devashish, that there are sign-up sheets for some of these things.
Yeah, we have an
Anyone
Arati
wants to
group,
volunteer,
yes, we do.
Arati or for a volunteer for any type of the work.
Yeah, we have a volunteer group and we have Arati.
Yeah.
RT group, if it is increases, you can ask for anyone wants to add, then you can do it another day, another day, another day, slowly.
We also have a vigil.
And vigil.
Also we have.
Vigil is very
But
good.
make sure that everyone knows. You can
Yes.
even post these
Communication
things.
is very important.
Yeah.
We are communicating, Maharaj.
Now send twice, thrice,
Yes, yes.
and add some people who are expert in making the website little better.
This committee is doing their best.
Yeah, yeah.
They all, everything is there. It is requested that devotees to show up.
Yeah.
It's not that they don't know.
Right.
They don't know.
Right.
Just to make it, that we take invitation to friend's house going 50-60 miles.
Ah.
Just once a month, maybe twice.
Right.
One Saturday, one Sunday.
Right.
Then we get to see each other for our benefit.
Yeah.
For our own benefit. And it's such a long person.
No, good. That's good.
Because we like to see each other to discuss.
Yeah.
What can we do?
Every Saturday and Sunday at 5:30 on the regular time and 6:30, right, in the winter.
And then
Yes.
Oh, winter is 4:30, I'm sorry. So it goes backwards. So 4:30 in winter and 5:30 in summer. We are open here.
The first 2 weeks is Ramnam and the.
And the first Sunday is Ramanama Sankirtanam. And also for each of the direct devotees from Sri Ramakrishna, we have their shrine on the shrine.
And then that can be done in a big way to write that, type it, and
It is on the website.
no, the website is there in the door. You can
Yeah, on the
paste it
bulletin board.
on the wall, laminate them and paste it on the wall, and people can see from the outside door or here, and also in the notice board.
Yeah, not everyone goes to the website.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes, that is true.
In most of the places, that is the problem. That we, in our centers also, they send the website, and when they, in the hall, when program is going on, they, what is now? What is now? Oh, it is in the website. Shall I go to see the website now? And they keep some very concrete thing in front of the different doors so that people can say today this item, next item, next item. Not in one place, 2-3 places it can be given in a bigger font. Anyhow, that's good. So thank you all. It was great to.
Now we break for tea.
Then what?
Then
And we
Arati.
have the prayer, Arati, then we have a Swami's concluding talk,
Okay.
then we are going to adjourn.
Including talk, we would not be.
So Swami can do the concluding talk now if it's okay.
Now it is there.
This is the
Because
concluding.
most people are here.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
May-
Then I'll just,
May Mother bless us all.
yeah.
May Thakur bless us all to let us be devoted to Thakur Ma and let our spiritual life flourish more and more in so many ways. The music is a beautiful way of expanding the heart. The values we get, particularly the classical music and all the songs what have been sung, is all spiritual values. So it's note, music, tune, and all the drama, etc. is okay. But the words are very meaningful. It takes us to a purer level of our existence. Thank you all.
And again, thanks especially to all of the volunteers and thanks, yes. Thanks to all of you who have come and special thanks to those of you who started the work here over 30 years ago. Yeah. And continue to come and help out. We're grateful to everyone.
Those who are gone, they should hear this. Left.
Some left.
He's on the record, Maharaj. He's on the
Oh, it's
He's on the website.
It's on the website.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes, yeah, I have a, this is a kind of maybe suggestion or question here. I mean, as the Christian church is eating Bible study, yeah? I don't know how often here, quite honestly, but they do a Bible study, say once a month for an hour and so on. would it be possible and would it maybe attract more devotees to say we do in addition to the Arabi once a month we do a gospel study here?
We do second Saturdays.
Okay.
Second Saturday is between 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock. Again, I'm sorry, it is on the website.
1 hour.
Yeah, see, I'm such a person like
Yeah.
Swami Maharaj said. You know, I don't like to go on website. I read the emails. I'm happy about the emails. And also another question is here when we do the Arabi. You know, see, I'm from Germany. I learned English the hard way. I know some Sanskrit words. Unfortunately, I don't speak Hindi. I don't speak Bengali. Is it possible to send it maybe once out? I asked it here several months ago when Swami Mirananda was here to send it out as a hard copy that I can bring it here, you know, that I can read from it.
What we do at our center, every time we have the message for the month for the website, we send it out as an email also.
It goes, Maharaj.
Yeah.
Nowadays, we publish it in the website.
Right.
We publish it in the website.
And also in the email, we specify, right? Every weekend we have the Aarati starting at 5:30 p.m. Every, any special program, like, that is the second Saturday of the month and first Sunday of the month, that we start 1 hour before. And every Saturday we start the satsang, that is we take a topic of, Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna or any other specific topic, group of devotees assemble here and they discuss as a team. And also there is on the every Sunday there is a slogan, it's about Lord Ram. It's Ramnam Sankirtanam. It's chanted all over the world in Ramakrishna Mutt and missions. Right? It is it's about 1 hour. It runs for 58 minutes. If somebody is hearing that, they can go melodious and they get melted. So it is such a great thing, that is we play that. And there are, it's everything is in the website and also we communicate. But one another thing what we will do is also, that is we are trying to get this in various regional languages. Even for Indians, somebody is Telugu, Tamil and all that, that is when devotees go to India, we buy books of these in various languages and we keep it for reference in the front desk. We are working on it. That will be made available. So one other thing that we notice is that one, but we are working on it. That should happen quickly.
How do they sign up for the email?
We have a website. They have an online.
Go to the website and go to contact. Or just to the front desk.
No, in the
Email. They should be
itself,
able to go into the website and
Maharaj.
click on contact and add their email address.
yeah, on when the monthly event bulletin goes, there are hyperlinks where we provide the registration forms online. They just click on the link, they go online, they provide the name, email, and the telephone number.
Yeah.
We add them in our mailing list,
So it
communication
should be
list
just a
every
click
time.
on contact or something.
Yes,
Okay.
it's there.
Very good.
I have a suggestion actually. Drawing from this whole concept of drip marketing, where you based,
Drawing from the practice which is in vogue these days, which is called drip marketing, you're basically providing in bits and pieces information to the community. Yes, we're true, every month we send out a schedule of all the events for the particular month, but it will be beneficial to drive traffic on those instances where you have the Ramakrishna or the Gospel of Ramakrishna sessions, to send another email before that stuff to basically say, hey, just to remind you, there's a session coming up this Saturday, Sunday. Little by little, we do that. Some people, if you forget, they will be reminded, they will come in. Initially, we have to do the work, but once people get used to the practice, then it's not required anymore. It's a little bit of extra work, but it goes a long way. That's my suggestion.
Deepaka, we send a monthly communication 15 days in advance in the prior month. And also during that month, we send a reminder. In addition to that, we have a WhatsApp group where this communication is for the entire members. We have a WhatsApp group. It is communicated. Then we have a separate vigil group. Then we will have an Arati group. Then for the very first time, now we introduced a volunteers group, registration forms, narrating the complete incidents. What do we need on the first day, morning session, afternoon session, evening session, and everything. People have voluntarily come and registered everything. We scrutinized that, and we have opened a volunteering WhatsApp group also. Yes, suggestions are taken, we keep improving.
Just to remind you, for example, Nivedita, Lahiri actually. She does a wonderful job.
Yes.
In terms of driving traffic to the visual booth and everything else.
Continue this discussion over tea.
Yes.
Over tea. So let's,
This was not a question, also a suggestion related to, so I know the emails are sent out and the website's there. These days with so many emails, a lot of people either goes in the spam or don't check. So I was suggesting a phone, like sending reminders through the phone. I know that everybody has their contact information. So like text message. And then also being a little more active in social media. I think that's the community.